Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our workshop today. So this is the second workshop. So how are you today? I hope you all great today. Okay, so let me start my presentation today. We are going to present, I'm going to present about basic figure for fashion design. Okay, so let's go to my presentation. Okay, basic figure for fashion design.
Hi everyone, today I'm gonna talk about catwalk motion and how to draw it easily. As you know, the catwalk is a narrow walk, especially one high above the surrounding area, used to allow models to stand or move as over the stage in a fashion show.
Hi everyone, I am back with a new video and this
As you
is
can
going
see
to be
here,
a
I have
tutorial
some
on
different poses
how I
from
draw
the
the
internet.
fashion figure using the...
I'm going to use this photo as a reference to show you the technique. First of all, for the shoulder line, it's sloped to the left. Then the apex line have also the same direction. In the opposite direction, the waistline and the hip line are sloped to the right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for this inconvenience. Okay, so welcome to our workshop today. So this is the second workshop. So how are you today? I hope you all are good today. Okay, let me start my presentation today. I'm going to present about basic figure for fashion design. Okay, let's go to our presentation today. Okay, basic figure for fashion design. Fashion designers need to be able to draw to make their designs understood. Fashion designers need to communicate ideas to buyers quickly. The ability of drawing the idea in an attractive manner is a great asset. So, the designer must know how to draw well and be able to present ideas that will be delivered. Okay, before learning to make a fashion picture, we will learn how to make image proportions. So a good proportion of a figure will help to display a good picture of fashion design. So how to draw a figure? Okay, so this is the typical female fashion figure. So this is the illustration, or this figure is illustrated as slender with square shoulders, heads drawn smaller, necks and legs longer than in the classical life drawing. So in the average female body, the head is about 7 to 8 times smaller than that of the total height of the entire figure. So for fashion designs or for fashion drawings, this increases to 9 to 10 times or more. So fashion drawings retain the basic proportion of the human from the head to the crotch. Extra length is sometimes added to the legs to give dramatic, stylish look and to give clothing more dynamic appeal. So this is the difference, yeah, for the average female proportion and the fashion drawing proportion. Okay, next, let's go to fashion drawings. So fashion drawing starts with making figures proportion. The easiest way to start to draw a fashion figure is to use the head size, okay, as the measurement guide for the length and width of the figure. Okay, so take a look on the picture. So I will explain to you what is the second and then the first and the second picture, so that there are two pictures on the slide. So let's try to check parts by parts on the figure of the female proportion as follows. The first, for the following figure uses head as the reference to make a figure. Okay, so if the height of the figure, the height of the figure is 10 times of the head size. Okay, the whole figure is 10 times of the head size. Okay, so if the head height we make with the size, for example, 1 inch, so we need 10 inches length to draw the whole figure. Okay, so the position of the head is in the position between 0 until 1. Okay, and the width of the head is 2/3 from the head length. So if the head height is 1 inch, so we will need 0.7 inch for the head size. Next, the position of the shoulders, okay, is between 1/3, and then we make the horizontal line as 2 times of the head width. Okay, 2 times of the head width. Okay, that is the explanation of the figure. Next so if the head width is 0.7 inch, the shoulders width is 2 times of the head width. It means the size of the shoulders is 1.4 inch. Okay, and then the position of the burst is on number 2, and then the position of the waist is on number 3, in which the width is 1 inch, and then for the highest position of the hip is on number 3.1/3, and then the position for the crotch or waist is on number 4. Okay, and the position for the knee is on number 6.5, and then the position of the ankle is on number 9. The position of the toe or feet is on number 10. So everyone, let's watch the video about how to draw or how to make woman figure. So let's check this out, the video.
Hi everyone, I am back with a new video, and this is going to be a tutorial on how I draw the fashion figure using the 9 heads technique, which I learned from the book 9 Heads by Nancy Reichelman. So a link to where you can find that book and other resources are listed in the description box, so feel free to check them out. For this tutorial, I'm going to keep it super simple, and I'm not going to explain too much about the basis of the technique because that can be kind of confusing, especially if you're watching this and you just want to get started with drawing the fashion figure. This tutorial is basically going to be me showing you how I do it, and you're free to copy it step by step in order to learn this method. And in a follow-up video, I will talk more about the 9 heads technique and why it's used in drawing human body proportions, as well as how you can use the technique to take off from here and draw different body types to suit your style and the characters you want to draw. With drawing the fashion figure, the 9 heads technique is just one of the many ways to learn the proportions. There are also the 10 heads and the 12 heads technique, but the 9 heads technique creates a more realistic figure. So as you can see on the piece of paper here, I have drawn 10 horizontal lines down on the page, and between each line is an inch, and I've also labeled each line with the corresponding number, like line 1, line 2, to make it easier which line I am talking about. Then the space between each line, for example, between line 1 and line 2, represents the size of a human head. In this video, because each line is spaced 1 inch apart, the head size of my figure is also going to be 1 inch. And I've also labeled each space as the corresponding head number, for example, head 1, head 2, head 3, and so on. And I've also drawn an oval in the space to represent the head shape. And this just gives us an idea of why it's called 9 heads technique, because it's 9 heads stacked vertically, which will then help us identify the placement of each body part. Also, please note that you do not have to draw every single head. You can do this for your first time, but all we really need to do is draw the 10 lines spaced evenly apart, because that will save us time for our guidelines. So now onto the measurements. Between line 1 and line 2 is, of course, the head, so I'm drawing an oval shape. Then a third from the top of head 2 is the neck, so I'm just drawing 2 lines down. Then half of head 2 is for the shoulders, and there are no set measurements for the length of the shoulder line. It can be as narrow or as broad as you want, and I will explain more of this in the follow-up video. For now, I'm drawing the line to be roughly wider than the head. Then the top of head 3 is the apex, or the center of this person's boobs. So I'm just drawing 2 circles. And starting with geometric shapes like this can make it easier to visualize the body, especially when you're just starting out. Next, the top of head 4 is where the waistline will be. And because we tend to see small waists in high fashion models, this line is usually drawn much shorter than the shoulder line. But again, it can be as wide or as narrow as you want. Then a third of head 4 is for the high hip line. And as you see me do before, I am connecting the previous line to this new line, and it creates a trapezium shape since the ideal hips are wider than the waist. Then the top of head 5 is where the crotch is. So I'm just drawing a triangle from the hip line to this point. All the way down to the top of head 7 is where the knees are, and I'm just drawing circles that are fairly far apart because the pose of this drawing is that she's standing with feet slightly apart. The circles also represent the joints. And down to the top of head 9 are for the ankles/heels. And because this is a fashion figure, models usually wear heels, therefore the entire feet would occupy head 9. And we're almost done. Now it's just time to add in the arms. So I drew 2 circles where the shoulders are, just at the edge of the shoulder line. And I will connect that to the top of head 4, where the waistline is, because it is also the line for the elbows. And once again, I am drawing circles for the joints and connecting those back to the shoulders. And the top of head 5, which is where the crotch is, that guideline is also for the wrists. Then finally, roughly the size of head 5, I say about 2/3 of head 5 is where the hands are going to be. Now, you can draw the hands as large as head 5, but I wouldn't draw it any smaller than 2/3 of head 5. And that is basically it. To be honest, we don't really need exact measurements to draw the human figure or the fashion figure, and I will further explain this in the follow-up video. Unfortunately, explaining it can make this complicated. That's why I left it out. So before that video comes out, feel free to check out the resources listed below. Also, keep in mind that these are guides only. Guidelines are definitely just guides and not rules. This technique is useful for anyone wanting to learn the basic human proportions in a step-by-step manner. And I would highly recommend practicing this along with reference photos and real-life model studies to help you gain a better understanding of human anatomy. And while there are guidelines to help with drawing what is considered the ideal body proportions, this should not be where your learning ends. Once again, feel free to utilize the tools and resources I have listed in the description box. And if you have other resources that you would like to recommend to me and other people watching this video, comment them down below or tweet me at Zara Banyas, and I will add them to the list. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Simply liking this video greatly supports this channel and my videos, so I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button. Also, you can reach me through my social media, which are linked in the description box. I've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. I also have Society6, where you can purchase art merchandise and fine art prints of my artworks. And lastly, I have Store NB, where I sell my original artworks. You can email me for a payment plan if you're interested in purchasing any original art from me. My email and all my links are listed in the description box. Feel free to share this video as well. It lets people find this channel and this video a lot easier. That is it for my shameless plug. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.
Okay, so that was the video about fashion figure, how to make fashion figure. And if you want to watch again the video, you can follow, or you can just open the YouTube channel as follows. Okay. For next, this is the man figure. So what is the difference between the female figure? So there is actually, generally, the shape is almost the same between the female and the man figure, but there are some points that are a bit different. And then the first is the shoulder, which is the wider, it is wider than the female. So the size is 2 times than the height of the head. Yeah. So 2 times of the height of the head. Okay. And then the high hip. The high hip is lower than the female position. Okay. So actually the dots are connected for the female figure, and then the firm line is for the man figure. And then the crotch or the wrist is lower than the female figure. And then the shape of the body, for male or for men, it is more firm than the female. The female looks slimmer than the man. Okay, you can take a look on the picture for more detail. And then we will move on to the next presentation. Then we go to how to draw head and face. So this is the step how to draw head and face. The first, you can make just a simple round drawing, and then you make the eyes, and then you make the elbows, the lips, the nose, and then until you finish the head and the face. Okay, you can take a look on the video for more detail how to make a head and face. Let's go to the video. Okay, so that is the video about how to draw face and head. Or for more detail, or maybe you will watch the video again, you can look at the YouTube channel as follows. Okay, so next, let's move on to how to draw hand. Okay, this is also we have the video, so let's watch the video together.
Hey guys, we're going to jump right away into this video on drawing hands. We're going to be drawing 5 hands, kind of like a turnaround, of relaxed hands that would be at your side. So this first one is going to be front view, and I have 2 lines. This one on the right is vertical, and the one on the left is slanted. And at the bottom of the right one, I'm drawing this little corner. From that is going to be this curved line, which is the back of the hand. And next to that is a little horizontal line, which is about half the width of the wrist. So this curve is going to be the thumb, and we're going to stop it at about halfway into the palm. I'm going to connect these two. Draw a line at the top. And now I've created the basic shape of the palm. So that's what I try to do with all my hands, is first make the basic shape. So to find the length of the fingers, you just measure the palm and double it. And we'll get started on the fingers. So I'm drawing the knuckle for the pointer finger, and the fingers have 3 sections, and each section, each new one, is going to be shorter than the previous one. So here is the first section, the longest. This next section is going to be shorter than the first one, and this last one is shorter than the second one. So 1, 2, 3. And for this pointer finger, I guess it's called index finger, I'm curving it slightly towards the left. Cool, so next I'm drawing the knuckle for the middle finger, and we are going to hide it behind the index finger, because I guess that one's shy. And so you imagine it curving behind the pointer finger, popping out at about there. And above that, you can draw the ring finger. And if you want, you can draw the pinky finger. And I'm just leaving a little gap right there. So I'm going to shade this in because I think there's going to be some shadows in there. Cool, so next we're going to draw or continue the thumb. And I'm stopping it in line with the knuckles on the right. And this top part is wider than that part. So here we have thumb all done. And the tip of it, I try to imagine an arc, and that connects to the next knuckles of the fingers. And you'll see more of that in all the hands that we do from here on out. So you get a better idea of how these knuckles line up. One last line at the wrist. And here we have front view. So just a hand that is relaxed at your side. Cool, so next we're going to draw 3/4 view. So the hand is going to be turned slightly. And I'm trying to draw the wrist a little wider than the wrist on the left. And I've put that corner at the bottom of the line on the right. And from that, this isn't going to be straight up and down. It's going to be it's coming out a little bit. Just a little bit. And now this line is going to be much longer than the line we drew on the left side. Slightly tilted. And I'm just drawing a vertical line right here. Next, just like on the left side, we're going to draw the curve of the thumb, stopping at about halfway into the palm. Connect these 2 points. And here we have basic shape of the palm for 3/4 view. So you can see that there's definitely more of it because it's turned more. You can see more of the palm. And on the bottom I'm just putting the knuckles. The pinky knuckle is going to be a little smaller. And so just like the left side, I'm going to find the length of the fingers, which is about palm length. Palm length from the knuckles. And so I'm going to start with the pointer finger. For this one, yeah, just remember 3 sections, right? Each one is shorter than the previous one, and it's going to be curving slightly towards the left. And with the fingers, I try to make the top part of it wider than the tip, so it gets more narrow towards the tip. So I'm going to draw the middle finger now. This part is going to be straight up and down. But these next 2 sections, I'm going to try and curve it ever so slightly towards the left side. Next 2 fingers will be easy because we're going to hide them. You're getting camera shy, so ring finger is going behind the middle finger, and pinky finger is hiding behind the ring finger. So we can continue the thumb. Remember, top part wider than that part. And you can see the arc I was talking about. That knuckle of the thumb lines up with the knuckles of the fingers on the right. And you can see that the tip of the thumb has an arc also, and it lines up with the next knuckles of the fingers. You guys can check, maybe it's just my hands, but I think it's universal. I hope so. So I'm just shading it in. And there we have 3/4 view. So now we're going to draw the hand rotating more, and this is going to be a full backhand view. So no corner there, but this line is coming much more outward than the previous 2 hands. This is going to be a slanted line again, but it's going to be the longest line that we've drawn so far. Slightly tilted. And this line isn't vertical. It's coming out a little bit. Thumb line, you can draw the same as before. It's just curving, stopping halfway into the palm. Connect these 2. And here we have the palm shape, the widest of the hands that we've drawn so far. So now I'm measuring the palm and finding the middle, finding the middle finger. That sounds funny, but finding the length of the fingers, drawing the knuckles, and we can see them all. And we can move on to drawing the fingers. So the pointer finger, this part's vertical, but for this hand, I'm going to curve these next 2 sections just slightly towards the center. So it's curving like that. And the middle finger, you could draw it vertical, but I think it's more interesting if you make it curving just a little bit. And here I'm curving it towards the left side. So this line on the left side of the middle finger is a very slight curve. And you have the 3 sections right there. And so all the fingers on the right side of the middle finger, I'm going to curve towards the left. So now I'm drawing the ring finger. And watch, I'm going to curve it towards the middle finger. Now for the pinky, I guess the pinky is always shy. He's hiding. So I'm going to curve it and hide it behind the ring finger. And here we have that arc I was showing you guys before, the arc of these first knuckles. Here's the arc of the next knuckles. And there's even an arc lining up all those the last set of knuckles. So once we have these arcs, it's really easy to draw the thumb because the next knuckle for the thumb stops at that arc, lines up with those knuckles of the fingers, and the tip of the thumb stops at the next arc and lines up with the next set of knuckles for the fingers. Shading as always. And so the shadow follows that arc. And so I'm just going to erase the thumb because I think the thumb should be a little longer. And I just want to point out that I was trying to capture that kind of shape at the bottom of the fingers. And here we have the backhand view.
Okay, so that is the video about how to draw hands. If you want to watch the video again, you can open the YouTube channel as follows. Yeah. Okay. Next is how to draw figure with pose position. Yeah. Okay. So we have also the video. So let's check the video together.
Hi everyone, today I'm gonna talk about catwalk motion and how to draw it easy. As you know, the catwalk is a narrow walk, especially one high above the surrounding area, used to allow models to stand or move as over the stage at the fashion show. As you can see here, I have some different poses from the internet. I'm going to use this photo as a reference to show you the technique. First of all, for the shoulder line, it's sloped to the left. Then the apex line have also the same direction. In the opposite direction, the wrist line and the hips line are sloped to the right. The same thing for the crotch and the knees. Next, we have the balance line, which is a vertical line from the head down to the feet. So that's all the elements that you must see in order to draw exactly the same motion. As usual, I started drawing the lines using the 10 head technique. After analyzing, I'm going to draw all the guidelines approximately. Now I'm drawing the head and the neck. Then I drew the shoulders and tried to connect them with the waistline. From the breast to the crotch, I'm going to draw a new line. This line represents the curve of the fashion figure. After that, the hips line. Here you have to pay attention that the left side is more curved than the right side. Then I'm going to draw two circles to help me draw the knees. Then for the ankles, it's the half of head line on the right side. Now I'm drawing the legs. For the arms, the elbow and the wrist on the right side are going to be higher since your shoulder is higher. This is the catwalk fashion figure. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any question, comment below and let me know your suggestions. Please subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and give me thumbs up if you like this video. See you next tutorial. Bye.
Hi everyone, today
Okay, so that is the video about how to draw figure with pose position or catwalk fashion figure. Yeah. Okay, if you want to watch this video again, you can open the YouTube channel as follows. Okay, so that is the end of the presentation. It's time for you to ask the question. Yeah, it's time for question and answer. You can ask the questions through the chat. Come on, we're waiting for your question. Okay, question please. If you need any information or you want to ask any questions, you can ask. Come on, questions. Okay, so today's workshop, for the material of the workshop, you can access on creativecamp4.siameo.org, or if you have any questions, you can email us on fashiondesign.ccc@gmail.com. Come on, if you have any questions, you can contact us on the chat. Questions, please. Creative Cam. Okay, for information and material of the workshop, you can access creativecamp4.siameo.org, or if you need information or the material also, you can also email us fashiondesign.ccc@gmail.com. Okay, if there's no question for today's workshop, I think that's all for today's. See you on the next workshop. See you next week. Bye-bye.